This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series before. But for those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great.
You can't hide forever.
This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series before. But for those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great.
You can't hide forever.
This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series before. But for those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great. This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series before. But for those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great. This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series. This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series. For those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great. This isn't the Assassin's Creed that will change the minds of folks that have never connected with the series before. But for those of us with lots of hours logged in the Animus, the Sum of Shadows parts provide a refreshing realignment of the series that you should not skip. It's great.
Right.
Hey guys, and welcome to my review of George Floyd Assassin's Creed Shadows. Oh, don't believe me that this is a George Floyd Samurai game? Well, this game started production in 2020, and what else happened in 2020? Well, a criminal overdosed, and the whole world went crazy. I do think it's hilarious, though, that Ubisoft made a game where a black man with a gun slaughters Asian people, but stop Asian hate, am I right? Yasuke has a gun. Someone should mod it to be a Glock and then do a King Von edit.
Police steady watching me. Every day they clocking me. Red alert, I'm the dangerous. I keep that clock on me.
They even give Yasuke the same dreads that they give every black guy in every video game ever.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe you got rid of that old yee-yee ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick.
Ubisoft is pro DEI, and they unintentionally made a game that's more racist than a game that I could ever make. That's not true. I could make a more racist game, but I'd have to try. I'd have to think about it. I don't want to sell myself short. There's also a ton of fake history and talking points being pushed around this game, and we'll discuss those more later. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Drinker here, and today we are discussing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Really quickly, guys, before the video begins, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good shit. All that shit just helps out the algorithm so much and helps the channel grow a ton. Comment down below letting me know what you think of the video or what other types of videos that you want to see from me in the future. Consider becoming a channel member or joining my locals if you wish to support me further. But let's go ahead and jump back into the review. Yes, it's that time. It's time for Ubisoft to try to squeeze the last drops of milk out of the emaciated cow that is the Assassin's Creed franchise. Now, before we get into the actual game, I want to talk about the controversy that surrounded it before its launch. This is truly a we was Kangs type of game. You're seeing idiots push the narrative that Yasuke was a samurai and also trying to say that trans and non-binary people always existed in Japan. It's funny to see people out of one side of their mouths say that Shadows is historically accurate. Then out of the other side of their mouths, they try to make the argument that Assassin's Creed was never historically accurate. But you fought the Pope, bro. Yeah, there's a difference between adding something silly and ridiculous into a game because it's silly and ridiculous versus injecting overt political propaganda. If you can't see the difference, I can't help you. By the way, all of the history around Yasuke being a samurai, yeah, the guy that came up with it faked it. It was one guy's book and years of Wikipedia editing by Ubisoft alums. Oh, and the guy admitted to lying about Yasuke's history, in case you had any doubts. Because Ubisoft is so incompetent, they basically immediately got caught in their lies once they actually started advertising the game. Which, of course, basically upset the entire country of Japan. The Japanese government was upset about the fake history, as well as that you could destroy shrines in the game. Ubisoft didn't really acknowledge the Japanese government, but they did issue a day one patch preventing you from destroying shrines, sort of implicitly acknowledging that, yeah, they fucked up. Now to the game. Shadows is your typical modern day video game. It's woke, boring, uninventive, but graphically impressive. The game is beautiful. There's just no reason to play it. IGN gave the game an 8 out of 10, other outlets have given it a perfect 10 out of 10, but the reality is it's a thoroughly mid game. It's a 5, maybe a 6 at its absolute best. It's not awful, it's just not worth your time. It doesn't value your time. It's boring and very woke. There's the gay relationships, George Floyd samurai, a fat autistic kid, girl bosses, ugly women, another She-Hulk Abby type. It's your typical hodgepodge of woke bullshit. The gay romances are optional, bro. Yeah, you know what else is optional? People buying your game. I've said it before, but it's optional, bro, is a cope to deflect from the fact that any of this woke nonsense shouldn't be in the game in the first place. But how's the gameplay? It's fairly straightforward and average. Assassinating people is the best part of Assassin's Creed. Basically all of the enemies you fight have the same couple of attacks, and the game is really easy. You can mess up a lot, and you still won't be in any danger if the enemy is a similar level to you. Nawe is fast and agile. George Floyd, Yasuke, is a tank, and in combat is basically the free win character. Yasuke can't really climb anything at all, because he's so large, and they clearly wanted to differentiate between him and Nawe. Parkour has been steadily getting worse as the series has gone on. There's times where you don't notice how bad the parkour is though, because it's feudal Japan and there's nothing to climb. You know, this game's really not accurate at all. Yasuke can swim. Oh, don't worry though, they don't make a big deal out of Yasuke being black or anything.
Viste como Lord Nobunaga olhou para o Diogo? Será que nunca viu negro antes?
Lord Nobunaga commands that the black man join you.
Your black man has the instincts of a warrior. Has your skin always been this way?
Yes, Lord Nobunaga. My homeland is very far from here. All the people there have this color.
That's a joke. Actually, for a lot of the game, they do the opposite. He's the only black guy in Japan, and they act like it's totally normal and don't question it at all. That's maybe more racist than the characters actually being surprised that they're basically seeing a unicorn. Shadows also keeps some of the RPG mechanics from some of the previous games. If you like the RPG mechanics in Assassin's Creed, then you'll probably like this game a little more because of that. Personally, I'm not a fan of it, so it does nothing for me. I've seen several people say that this game is better than Ghost of Tsushima because you can slice things with more precision. By that logic, Fruit Ninja is better than Ghost of Tsushima. The story in Shadows is boring, and that's what really separates this game from a game like Ghost of Tsushima, which I've also reviewed. Ghost had a great story, unoriginal but fantastically done. Shadow's story will basically put you to sleep. It's hard to write interesting stories when you're too worried about offending anyone. And it's also clear it was written by liberal women. Much of the writing is just cringe, millennial, quirky Redditor writing. Even the trophy for Yasuke's Leap of Faith is called Leap of Fail.
Stop it! Stop with this! I am so exceptionally tired of this millennial fucking low tier Marvel writing. We don't need protagonists that constantly have these stupid quips. It was funny the first time. Link has managed to go 20 some odd years without saying a goddamn word, and everyone loves him, and they laugh at the facial expressions and the goofy things. But he doesn't need to resort to things like this. If you're putting this into your game, I'm going to assume that you have brain damage.
Haha, so quirky and funny. Can developers stop writing like this? It was funny in the first Marvel movie. It's not just the writing that's bad. The voice acting and facial animations are also just horrendous. Like, hilariously bad.
But I know the place. No one visits any turns the same. Especially not a lone guard.
You didn't see her fight. She'll be fine.
Antonio! We could have used him.
What? Kuretake's worms would rather die than talk.
Why is the sword your first response?
Now, this is Yaya. Fought for my father in the war. Abandoned me like he did.
Not true. You called for help. I came back.
I want to join you two to find Wada Kuretake. Where? You cut open my father. You left him to suffer, to die in pain.
It's what you and your kind deserve.
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
The game is also really buggy, most of which are funny.
That's okay.
Dude, just what the hell? Dude's walking around without a head! What the hell? Okay, that's a first.
I even had a boss fight where the boss did not attack me once.
This time I'll finish the job. Where are you on your nap? I'll send you to your father. Now you'll pay for all you've taken.
That was my bad. I forgot I was playing on Games Journalist difficulty, normal difficulty in an Ubisoft game, and that's it right there. Ubisoft does not make games for gamers. They make games for games journalists. And this game has had a media push, the likes of which we've never seen before. The mainstream outlets are practically begging you to buy and play the game. It's so weird. I'm sure some Ubisoft checks were passed out. Hopefully the outlets cashed them before they bounced. The mainstream outlets have definitely been going through the stages of grief with Shadows. We've seen this before with other games, but it's every outlet with Shadows. There's also some weird finagling going on with the sales and player counts that's interesting. The mainstream outlets keep saying it hit 2 million players, but refuse to say how many copies of the game were actually sold. They are very clear with their language. It's a little conspiratorial, but I wouldn't be surprised if those numbers were massaged a little bit, likely to please investors. It wouldn't be the first time. We were initially told that Veilguard was a huge hit when in reality it bombed, and Veilguard outperformed this game. Let's wait a couple weeks and see what comes of it. Despite Shadows being such a rousing success, Yasuke Simulator had more views on Twitch, which makes sense because Yasuke Simulator is about as historically accurate as Shadows. Speaking of Twitch, Ubisoft also paid terrorist sympathizer and socialist streamer Hassan Piker to stream the game. Can't wait until he redistributes the wealth he earned from the stream into something other than a mansion, or sports car, or underage prostitutes, allegedly. This is Ubisoft's priorities in a nutshell. Ubisoft is so hard up for cash that they cram this game full of microtransactions. Their $70 game. They can't help themselves. They also have a DLC already in the game that they're gonna sell you later at an inflated price. This game is so bloated that the credits are 2 hours long. This is why the game is so uninventive. There's far too many cooks in the kitchen. I'm amazed at how many people either intentionally or unintentionally missed that point. It's not necessarily woke to have a lot of people work on the game, unless they're Ubisoft DEI hires. The problem is bloat. It wouldn't surprise me if this game ultimately underperforms what Ubisoft was expecting and needed. The Assassin's Creed name will always get you decent sales numbers, but decent is a failure for the franchise and for Ubisoft, who is quickly moving towards bankruptcy. Personally, I would love for Ubisoft to go bankrupt, but unfortunately that means Tencent will likely pick up the remaining pieces.
Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed?
Shadows is a game that suffers from toxic positivity. People just have this incessant need to defend this game for some reason. You don't have to defend the billion-dollar company that hates you. You can let them die. Also, when are we going to stop pretending that the developers aren't complicit in making this slop? They'll lose their jobs. Good. They should. I wouldn't trust these idiots to fulfill my McDonald's order. In closing, guys, don't play this game. It's Ubi slop that isn't worth your time. It's better than I expected, but that's because I wouldn't have been surprised if it didn't run at all, given Ubisoft's track record. Now, I know this review was a little bit disjointed and half-assed, but that's all this game deserved. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, do all the shit the algorithm likes. Again, it helps the channel grow a ton. But as always, guys, this has been your boy Drinker, and I'm out of here. Peace.
I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to chop, 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 chop.